Welcome, everyone, to San Antonio by Night's Aftermath, the first season, episode 10. The last we left off with the Iconoclasts, our coterie that we follow, they had been. They had discovered a listening device in their coterie home, as it were, and we're not necessarily sure who was on the other side of that device and who was listening and what they listened to and for how long. So the best idea that they could come up with was to go to their Baron as a group and inform him of their discovery and what they intend to do about it. After which, Noel and Faust went on a bit of a feeding venture, and the other two, Ray and Maria, decided to have a little bit of fun of their own, possibly poking at our good friend Noel quite a bit more than they probably wanted to, but who's to say? For now, let's get the thoughts of our lovely coterie. Starting with Maria.
Now, I've been taking a little bit of time, and to the voice in my head, you might be a little low. But let's get into it, shall we? No cross the line. I don't have no much more than a spit in a bucket. And that son of a bitch just ended up deciding to end up crossing the line. Whatever you want to end up calling him, Carnage is the closest thing to answers I got in this entire city. In a city where no one will end up giving me a straight answer with spit, which I wish I could add to the bucket. So I might have ended up sending a bit of a warning shot his way. Fact of the matter is, it's nothing too over the top. I hope he can get himself out of it. It's not exactly the most cunning or ruthless of plans, but fact of the matter is he's going to be answering a lot of awkward questions. Not the brightest move, I'll openly admit. But what do I got to lose? We'll be dead in a week. I said we gotta end up finding out who ended up tapping the bug. How the hell do we even start to do that? And if that wasn't enough, we ended up running into all kinds of problems when we ended up coming down to the Baron. I can't end up trusting Noel to end up keeping his goddamn mouth shut. Only one I seem to be able to rely on at all in here is Ray. And she's... God, I don't even know what to end up calling her at this point. Faust is still a walking goddamn mystery to me. During the barbecue, where I'm trying to interact with as many as possible, most of the time he ended up spending some time with some constituents I got the names of, but not much else. Sometimes I think I was better off on my own. Just me and Sammy. Now, I'm in this coterie. Not much else. Be honest with y'all. This situation's got me scared shitless. And I ain't got no room to breathe. Or much else for that matter. But I'm gonna kick up quite a fuss when they come for knocking for me. I promise you that.
As Carnage has said, The Zamisi shouldn't be crossed. Faust, you seem to have gotten yourself into a little bit of a pickle last time during your little feeding venture, as it went unintentionally awry. What are your thoughts, good Ventru?
Well, at this point, there's not a lot of turning back. Mr. Stonefoot has seen the worst of me. Congrats. Good job. Let's put on a little show for him and show off how miserable I am. Truth is, I'm not entirely sure how to wrangle this all together. I have ideas, but whether or not they're going to be seen to fruition is another issue entirely. I have a coterie who doesn't want to work together, let alone with me. What am I supposed to do with that? How do I garner trust? How do I gather any sort of patriotism between us? It's easier said than done. It's easier imagined than actually practiced in any shape or form. And I can't help but feel like I have to slide through the cracks here in order to just scrape by any sense of sustenance, any capacity of means in order to build us up. But here we have an opportunity. Yeah, shit's bad. But it's also very good. Because if we can garner the appearance that we are practical, that we are more useful than just about any other group within this part of the domain, Jameson, Baron Jameson's domain, then we might have a chance to make it by just fine. We can solidify ourselves. We'll have a stable ground. I'm not worried. I'm not terribly worried to have to uproot if I must. But I'm not sure if that's a failure I can live with. I'll just have to make this happen.
That is what the Ventru are good at. Doing things on a need-to-do basis. Noel, you were assisting Faust, and yes, it went a little bit tits up, as it were.
It did.
You both killed a man.
Yes, we both killed a man. There's no getting around that. Faust lost control. Someone needed to cover it up, and so I stabbed this poor man.
Do you have any further thoughts?
There's a particular trend. It's coterie. It's not a trend that I like. so content. At least Ray and Maria do. Seem so content to play with a fire that they don't understand the implications of. There's a reason that carnage is only tolerated in the city by its elders. And if a city has made a consensus like that, then disagreeing is normally not a good thing. Of course, one would posit, then what about us? The iconoclasts, the outcasts of the city, the suspicious ones. As far as everyone else is concerned, they're suspicious, but the jury's still out on whether they actually want us here or not. And while the jury's out, we've got the ability to change things. But I'm feeling lost. I need to go talk to someone who I know has a bit of a better head on their shoulders, I guess.
Seems like a lot of advice is being sought this evening. The second night of a week that Jameson is giving you all to put this threat in the ground. And then there's Ray, who seems to be far more comfortable with carnage, conceptually speaking, than maybe even Maria is. Someone who definitely speaks on her level, someone who definitely speaks her language.
Yeah, he's an interesting sort. But he's an interesting sort. Can't trust the bugger as far as you can throw him, even though he speaks honestly. You don't know what he's getting at. But he's not as much of a concern as this bloody coterie of ours. You know, I wish for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, we could all get out of our own fucking heads. Noel is intent on sticking his dick in the fire. Maria tries to make things alright, but then can't follow her own advice. And Faust, I'm not sure what kind of plays he's trying to make, but they're not quite working. Me, I'm sitting here and I'm going, what is everybody thinking? We've got a week. Our first priority should be our survival. Because guaranteed, when Baron Jameson said that if we don't get this sorted in a week, he's going to take off our bloody heads, he's going to take off our heads. I don't have time for bickering and bullshit. I need to talk to Dion. Get a move on figuring out what the fuck is going on. Who put that tap in our house? Why our house? In specific. We haven't done anything yet. So why are people looking at us already? What have we done to draw attention? That's my question.
What have you done to draw attention indeed? Because it does seem like all of the eyes of the kindred of the domain definitely have their eyes on you now, if they didn't already. If you weren't the unwanted, you're the watched now. the watch to see if you can survive. We are starting a new night, and I'm sure that everyone is waking up in their own personal havens or in something that Faust cooked together quickly. So where is everyone waking up?
Personal haven.
Under the floorboards of my bed in the coterie haven.
Okay.
Ray is actually going to be staying in the Coterie Haven.
Okay. Faust?
Well, due to my paranoia last night, I didn't have very many options. I ended up finding an interesting little location. Small chapel, a little bit out of the ways of town. It's quaint. Very small and has a whopping 1 room. But if you need somewhere private, it's private.
Then we will join Maria and Ray first. And I would like everyone to roll rouse checks. Maria, your stomach growls. It grumbles. That itching feeling in the back of your head. The want and need for sustenance, for blood.
Yeah, it's about all I can think about right now.
When are we going to eat?
I don't know. I really don't.
We need to find something real quick, because otherwise we're gonna fall into that trap of falling asleep and never waking up.
We're not gonna wake up past a week anyway, so what does it matter?
You're gonna just let that happen? Not if I have anything to say about it.
Yeah, well, right now you don't.
Keep this up and I will.
Yeah, shove off. Why don't you just end up walking off? Take 12 from here, steps off of here, 10-foot pier. I ain't got nothing to say to you.
I'm part of you. I am you. You're me.
Now, I think you already know my answer. Maybe the best thing I can end up doing for the world right now is getting rid of you.
Yeah, I'm not giving up that easy. Got another thing coming if you think I will. Why don't I just go and take a big old chunk out of Tim? He looks pretty juicy. He's a stay-at-home dad. He seems nice.
Just get out of my head. Just get out. Don't need to be thinking none of that foolishness. I don't need to be thinking it.
Or maybe one of his kids.
Shut the fuck up. You leave the girls alone. You're not going anywhere near them. We're not going anywhere near them. You hear me? Stop laughing. Stop laughing. Stop it.
Wakey, wakey, Miss Higgs.
I suppose at that point she ends up waking up, and if first thing she does is in complete frustration ends up kicking off the planks that end up covering the little hole under the bed. It just kind of lies there out of the grooves. She's staring up at the cobwebs and everything else that managed to make its way under the floors for all the years of neglect under here. With a small amount of the light of her small lamp she ended up keeping on the desk side, providing her the only illumination she knows. She's terrified. Terrified of stepping out of this little grave site she has dug up. Her hands grip the soil around her. It's kind of the same way you would grip a blanket, a duvet, comforter. At this rate, we ain't gonna make it through the night.
A thought goes through your head. This is mine. I'm not gonna let them take it away from me.
No. No, I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm not gonna let you take the girls from me. Tim ain't going nowhere. Let's see where this goes. She moves the pieces of wood as she slowly crawls her way up from under the bed. It's slow. Movements aren't normal. More artificial. Like it's anything but a girl crawling herself out. Maybe there's something else. Something more monstrous. Looks like Maria. Sounds like Maria. But its eyes. Moves its head rather than turn its eyes.
Conserve as much energy as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. She's takes a moment to put everything back the way she found it. She comes out with a small brush and dust tray filled with whatever remains might have spilled out, covering her tracks best she can. And she starts to end up making her way. She starts to end up making her way to the main room, dumps what's left in the dustbin and the trash, and places the broom and air bin right beside her room. Starts to make her way to the kitchen. She don't like this much.
Ray's also coming down from upstairs from her room, having woken up just shortly before you, but maybe taking a little longer to get herself prepared as you have to uncover yourself with the floorboards.
Hearing that clatter of floorboards has Ray rather concerned. She makes her way down, looking around. You okay, Maria?
Well, I guess that depends on your idea of okay. She sits herself at the kitchen table for a moment. She's just observing, seeing if anything has been moved, anything has been dug up. They could have just came right in here and looked through everything, missed us, and left.
If you would like to investigate the house a little bit for disturbances, that is a wits or resolve investigation, depending how long you want to spend on it.
Can't take chances. Well, that's 4 successes. And a bestial crit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. So, Maria, as soon as you crawl out of your little grave and start going towards the kitchen, you get this strange suspicion that something else has to be here. Something else has to be here. You go over the cupboards and the faucet and the sink and everything that you can lay your eyes on in this particular room before speaking up again. And then you're frustrated. There has to be something here. There's something else here.
I believe that also ends up meaning I got a compulsion.
Yes, you do. I think I'm gonna roll it.
Oh, goody. Dominance with Ray in them. That'll go over swimmingly.
I believe that is hunger.
No, hunger is first 3.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have my chart.
It's paranoia.
Which is
How
fitting.
appropriate.
I was going to select that at either that or harm, but I suppose this is fitting. There's something else here. There has to be. There has to be. You don't feel safe in this house anymore. This is not a safe house.
But it's mine.
It's yours. But it's not safe anymore, and you know that.
Maria is currently digging through the drawers, trying to find something. She's checking the deadbolt. She even pops the door out and is looking at the keyhole. Maybe somebody's tampered with it. She's going on, checking windows. She was pretty sure she ended up putting a piece of wood in between to make sure they didn't slide open.
As you're opening up the door and realizing it, there is someone there. Who is just about to knock, it looks like. Oh, were you expecting?
Sammy. No, what are you doing here?
I came to check in on you.
Thanks about it.
Why? What's going on?
When was the last time we spoke?
That was, the barbecue. After the barbecue.
What were we talking about?
Carnage.
You know about Carnage. Okay. You, when we met first time, what was your first words to me? Joke about it all the time, you should.
Yeah, that... Oh, Jesus. You got me on the spot.
Thanks, Pop.
Maria? Okay, if you don't want me here, I'll go.
What were the words? What were the words? No, you don't get to go now. You don't get to go now. You wanted to be in here. You come on right in. Come on in. Come on in.
Ray steps up and puts a hand on Maria's shoulder.
Her immediate response is to turn like she's gonna tear your face off.
The first thing I said to you was in front of the Baron, trying to save your life.
The facts are tracks. Get in, Sam, and be very careful what you say in here. She starts moving over to the counters and checking the window above. Start looking around.
Maria, you're scaring me.
You'll have to forgive us, Sam. Things have been a bit tense. Ray watches Maria make her way around, watching very closely. It's not usual for Maria to bare her fangs like that at people.
Okay. I'm confused.
Why don't we all take a walk? What do
Can't.
you think, Maria?
Can't. Need to double check.
Double check what?
She steps right up to Sam, gets really close in whispering distance. I'm watching. I know it. They're waiting for us to slip up.
Who?
That's what they're doing. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's exactly what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay. Do you want help?
Maybe. I think it's best if you and Ray go for a walk at this point. Ray, would you please not let Sam walk out of his sight until you get back? Ray was here.
Sure.
I don't want... No, Sam. Relax. It's okay. It's you.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
It's not anybody
Yes.
else. It's just me.
Sam.
You haven't been this skittish since the last time you had what it was maybe effectively a nightmare.
She kind of puts her hand to her bottom jaw as though caressing her chin. Reality is she's biting into her index finger right now.
It's okay. We'll go for a walk.
Yeah. Maria is very quick to try and usher them both out the door.
Before we're ushered out the door, Ray stops and leans in and says very quietly into Maria's ear, I have some supplies for myself in the refrigerator, if you need it. I don't know if it will work for you, but it's there. And then she walks out.
No, I'm pretty certain we tried that at one point.
I can't be near people right now. You understand that, Sammy? I can't be around people right now.
Okay. Okay, we'll take a walk. You do what you need to, okay?
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, text me?
Yeah, maybe. She reaches for her phone, double checks it. Was that tampered with too? They got one bug in here. Where else did they put any? You don't just bug one room in the house, you're bugging for more. As soon as Ray and Sammy end up popping out the door, Ray is watching them from down, watching them walk out down the street in the driveway through the curtains. She's observing, and her eyes on occasion go to each house on the block. Did one of you betray me? One of you sold me out. Find out who. I need to find out.
We definitely need to find out. And while Maria is recollecting herself, Sam and Ahura begin to walk through the neighborhood. What was that about?
You'll have to forgive us, we've been under a bit of strain. We found a bug the other night.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
A bug? You mean like a
a
bug
listening
bug?
device.
Listening
A listening device
Okay.
in our goddamn kitchen.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Val's got the bright idea to go to Jameson with it. Now we've got a week to sort it out, or
Right.
so we're all a bit on edge.
Okay. Okay. Well, that is interesting.
Yeah, you're telling me. As they walk, Ray is actually looking around the street, her eyes scanning each of the vehicles, looking at homes and looking to see if there are any people around, maybe watching them or tailing them.
Give me a wits plus awareness. And give me, let's see. Do that at a +1 because Sam will be assisting you. You're not seeing very many people out. Not many people walk the streets at night, given the proclivities of some of the residents of the neighborhood, such as the Ramirez family. And even though they've been cleaned up, as it were, people are still on edge. Nobody really comes out of their homes. And it doesn't seem that anyone's tailing you, as far as you can tell.
Did you notice anything strange at the party? Maybe anyone snooping where they shouldn't have been?
Not particularly. I was hanging out with Stray most of the night,
Yeah.
avoiding carnage when I saw him. Him and Stray
Yeah,
have a
what's
bad
his deal
history.
anyway?
Whose deal?
Carnage.
What do you want to know? I mean, we kind of had that conversation the other night.
Fair. Just a matter of, yeah. I'm just interested. Know your enemies and all that?
Right. I guess we told you all we know.
That's fair. So, Stray's got some bad history with him?
Yeah. It's a whole mess. And that's more his story to tell, not mine.
That's more than fair.
I'm not nearly as gossipy as maybe others of the Ministry clan or Toreador for that matter.
I can respect that. So, what brought you around anyway? Just a social visit, or?
Kinda, yeah. Um, I kind of heard that things went a little weird at Jameson's because Marjani brought it up briefly this earlier tonight, but that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's saying something.
Told me I better take a look and see what's going on with the people that I'm associated with.
Well, now you know.
Oh, joy.
Yeah. If you notice anything, let us know, eh? And we'll keep you up to date. As much as we can, anyway.
I still don't understand why it is that you found a listening device?
Yeah.
Do you know where it came from?
No idea. It
Oh,
could have been
shit.
there before we moved into the place, or could have been put in during the party.
And you've only been here there, what, a week?
A little bit over, yeah.
Right.
What I
That's
want to
more
know
like
is
2
why
weeks
somebody
now.
might want to be. What I want to know is why somebody might be listening in on us.
Anybody got bad history with anyone?
Almost every single person in this coterie.
Well, that's fair.
Come on, Sam. We're on the outskirts. You know that.
Yeah, I'm even on more on the outskirts than that, so what do I know?
Yeah. Nah, we've all got history. Every single person in this coterie.
And
It's a
none of
matter
that's...
of narrowing it down.
Well, I guess that's places to look, I guess.
One of the people at the party
Uh-huh.
approached Faust. Said
Approach
something about
Faust.
being a stalker.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Have you seen that guy around here before?
Only just recently. I don't think he lives in the neighborhood.
Where have you seen him?
I've only seen him around here, though.
As in this domain specifically.
Well, kind of everywhere. Just talking to people. He didn't seem familiar at first, but I don't know who he is.
The name he gave us was Agent Sebastian Moore.
Agent,
Supposedly
huh?
FBI. Yeah, agent.
I mean, that should track, right? If you did research on him?
If I had a means of doing research on him.
Do you not?
Not really. I've got a couple of contacts that I might get in touch with, but yeah. He's apparently been getting around with this chick called O'Leary.
That one I'm not certain of. I've never heard that name before. Not in this area, anyway.
Yeah, apparently she was talking to Faust as well at the party. You might have seen her with Moore.
Yeah, she's not familiar to me.
So she's not usually with him.
I don't know. I have my own domain to look after, so I'm not here nearly that often.
Still, that actually helps.
I don't know how much help it'll be, but
No, that's something. And at the moment we got diddly.
I don't know. I hope Maria's gonna be okay.
Yeah, she will. Like I said, things have been a little bit tense. Probably needs a bite to eat. Thinking the boys probably do too.
Are you getting all Mama Wolf on them now?
Well, somebody's gotta. Look, they get hungry, it starts putting everybody at risk.
That's the same with all of us, really.
Exactly. So,
Well, me a little less so, but
yeah. It seems like every time I'm supposed to be the bloody risky feeder, but it seems like every time they go around getting something to eat, something gets a bit out of control. So, have to get around that.
well, one thing you can do is try to find some regular feeding, like something that you can use as a go-to for a while.
Yeah.
It's usually helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Thanks
what
for the
I do.
advice.
I have a regular set
I'll
of
have to
people that keep
consider it.
coming back.
How do you keep that hidden? Surely they start raising a brow after a while.
It helps when you're paid.
I imagine it does. Bit of money in the pocket never hurt.
Yeah. I mean, the sex
I'll
is
keep
good
that
too,
in mind.
but, you know.
That's how you feed. Right.
I won't tell you who. Client
Nah,
confidentiality and all that.
I don't ask names.
Well. Not like it's hard.
Yeah.
I'm a fairly likable person, so it makes it easy.
I'll agree with you on that. Don't want to rip your throat out yet, so you're doing well.
Oh, that's a first.
Yeah. Pretty much a first for me as well.
I mean, you
Except with
terrify me.
Maria.
Don't get me wrong. You terrify me.
Do
But-
I?
Well, yeah. You're kindred.
But
But
there was a continuation.
oh, I was just saying that that's the reason you're kindred. What else? Why else should I be scared?
Because I'm actually legitimately scary. Being a kindred is one thing. But, well, we'll leave it there. Might
Right.
be an idea. I might do some hunting for Maria while I'm out here. Care to give me a hand?
I don't know how much of a help I'm gonna be. I don't know what you're planning to do.
Knock someone out, take them home, make sure they don't remember it.
How are you gonna keep them from remembering?
They won't remember if they're unconscious.
I guess.
They won't know what the fuck's happening if they're unconscious. Then you dump them on the street and they think it was a mugging.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be any help in that regard. So
Well, then leave me to it.
Okay. You want to go off and do that? That's fine. I'm not going to stop you.
Do you want to keep an eye on Maria for me?
I thought she told you to keep an eye on me.
Yeah. Yeah, she did. But I don't think she's in her right mind right now.
Yeah, she gets a little scary when she's paranoid.
Just, Actually, no, you should come along with me. I don't think you're going to be safe with her.
Either way, I'm not going to be much help.
Yeah. Just stay out of sight, yeah?
I can do that.
Ray is going to look for somewhere nearby, probably a park with somebody maybe passing through. Somewhere where she can pull somebody into the shadows rather quickly.
Okay. So I'm going to consider this an alley cat feeding roll.
Yep.
Which means your difficulty is going to be 5 for your chase level.
Okay, so what am I rolling?
Strength brawl. Plus any specialties that you might have for a brawl.
I've got a grappling specialty.
Yep, this would count. You'd be able to pin him down and lock him into place. And that makes the difficulties, so you are able to snag a person, but how do you get them back to the coterie house?
Place is pretty well quiet from what you said before.
This person is struggling against you. You've grappled them, but you haven't knocked them out just yet.
I want to knock him unconscious first.
Then give me one more strength brawl. Whew. Okay.
I don't want to kill him, just knock him unconscious.
I think that'll sufficiently knock him out. In fact, you're almost worried that... You're pretty worried that you almost bashed his skull in.
I just check him over, make sure he's not too injured.
Doesn't
Sling
seem
his
like
arm
it.
around my
Still
shoulder.
breathing.
Sling his arm around my shoulder. I untuck his shirt, undo a few buttons. Make him look like a mess, like he's maybe been on the piss.
Mm-hmm.
And I start hauling him back, keeping into the shadowy parts of the street so as to not really be seen.
And you're walking with him?
Mm-hmm.
Samantha catches back up with you and starts walking with you. Do you think he's going to be knocked out for very long?
Yeah, well, I hit him hard enough, so he should be.
Shit. Okay. And she does what she can to try not to draw attention to you. And you both...
She goes in. She tries to make a way around the back of the house.
That's getting through the fence, but the fence has a fence door, so...
Keeping in quiet. She's constantly checking the guy to make sure he stays unconscious.
You've probably spent about half an hour walking. Probably close to an hour now.
Yep.
Maria, over the course of this hour, do you feel safer at all? Did you go anywhere? Maria? You're muted if you're talking.
Realized. Force habit.
Mhm.
Alright. Well, Maria's staying in the house at this point. She really doesn't trust herself to end up going hunting right now. And more importantly, she doesn't trust half this neighborhood. She ain't got much left in the tank, but maybe she can end up using that in the house a little bit. Change her face, take somebody out. She really doesn't want to be thinking like this, but she knows what's going to happen if she doesn't.
Arguably, you're of two minds. Because right now you want to feel safe and secure, but you also want to feed. You don't feel safe in the neighborhood, and you don't feel safe in this house. Where do you go? Do you go? Do you wait for Ray to get back?
I'm waiting for Ray to get back. If something happens to Sam, I'll know. But I'm waiting for them to return. Or maybe the others. Maybe Faust will end up showing up. Noel shows up first. I don't know what's gonna happen to him.
I suppose we'll catch up with Faust really quick at the beginning of the night. You spent the night at that church. But where do you go, Faust?
I make my way first to Mr. Wolford's. It's not in Jameson's somewhere.
Bastion Investments is where you'll often find Mr. Wolford when he's tending to some business during the early hours of the night.
I make my way through the offices, say hello to the regulars, the clerks, until I can finally arrive within his offices. I make a short tap after notifying the secretary at the front desk to page him.
You know that Delaney also works here, and Yuri Ivanov, your contact for the stock market, also works here. So it's convenient that these people are in that place, but you're here for Mr. Wolford. And when you give a knock to the door, he beckons you in with, come in.
I enter.
Ah, Faust.
Mr. Wolford. I close the door behind me, not looking at it.
Wasn't really expecting you this evening.
It's, I've been busy, but...
Have you?
Yes, terribly so. I'm finding myself in dire need of your guidance. I was hoping if tonight you would find the time to have a private conversation with me.
He pushes a button on his phone, and Delaney answers, Miss Voss, will you make sure that I'm not disturbed? Yes, Mr. Wolford. And he He beckons you to sit at the chair across from him, or to the small couch that he has in this office. It's a fairly large office. And he has you sit down next to him so that you both can speak softly and not be heard.
Thank you. I would have given you some forewarning, but I'm afraid I don't have the appliances at the moment due to some circumstances.
What do you need, Faust?
It's complicated.
Everything is complicated.
Yes.
You said
I'm finding that
guidance.
I need guidance. And I need support.
I'm here to provide it.
It's greatly appreciated. Our coterie succeeded in our first great endeavor together.
That's
That
good to hear.
being small barbecue with the neighborhood. Get to meet the locals.
It's a great
We got
networking
acquainted.
opportunity, for sure.
But what we didn't anticipate entirely, rather what I didn't anticipate, was a character there that I remember from Dallas.
Interesting. Which character is this?
I didn't really know his name until I actually got to meet him at this little festivity within these neighborhoods. It seems he's followed me here. Sebastian Moore,
Followed you here.
Agent Sebastian Moore.
Oh, very interesting.
Mm.
And what do you know about him?
I know he's new to the neighborhood. I know. Back at the diner, did I hear about the situation? Did I hear what him talking to that other guy about?
I don't believe you actively listened. Only Maria did, and she only caught that there were a couple of things that she caught. But I don't know that she's told you.
No. I know he has compatriots.
Compatriots.
Several individuals. And Amanda O'Leary joins his suit, as well as another, but I didn't quite catch his name.
And what is your concern regarding these agents?
I suspect that they're following us. More specifically, the basis from which my coterie faces, as of right now, is that we've discovered a device. I discovered a device. Initially on my vehicle.
And what did you do? And what did you do with it?
I didn't keep it. I already had a series of leads because I wanted to anticipate any trouble in the neighborhood, preemptively.
I see.
I reported it, and a detective took it away. This particular detective I intend to maintain contact and communication with.
So what do you need my help for? You said you wanted guidance. You have told me the facts. You haven't told me necessarily what your concern is here.
My concern is I have an idea of how I want to use this. but I'm afraid I lack the tools and materials to do so.
It sounds to me like you said, you have a stalker problem. If you know his name, then that's a good place to start. You sit. I think I'm not sure what it is that you mean by devices.
A listening device, a bug.
They overheard conversation.
Of our variety.
Faust.
Brought this to the bear. I know. My first instinct was to bring this to the Baron. Baron Jameson was not keen. However, I do believe that there is a way that I can bait this individual back into our palms, and when we do so, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with him at that point.
You need to know what you are going to do with him, Faust, otherwise you are not going to be able to do it when you are pressured to do so.
Yes.
He is a masquerade threat. Or whomever is on the other end of this listening device. You suspect it's this agent.
That's correct. What my hopes are is if I could erase his understanding of us, his perceptions, and change it somehow.
That's easier said than done.
It is.
That kind of memory manipulation takes days. And lots of blood.
That. Or an alternative that I'm less inclined to. Do you, Mr. Wolford, could you tell me about the Samitsi?
Samisi. I remember, if I remember correctly, one of your coterie is the Samisi, yes?
Yes.
Interesting. What I know about them is that they're sculptors of self and others. Quite literally sometimes. Some of it is rather garish, some of it's rather horrid. I don't know that I've met one in my lifetime that I had similar opinions with. There was a point where Dallas was attacked by a group of Sabbat. Zamisi were among them. That was a couple of years ago, actually. No one knows what happened to them after that. They were trying to attack some kind of storehouse.
Could you Would you know much about their nature or their abilities? There's a lot that I can learn from my coterie mate. A lot I have. And I want to give some means. I'm afraid I haven't given her, the necessities to have any faith.
Why do you think that is?
I think perhaps I lack conviction.
Simply saying that you are going to do a thing is not nearly enough. Or making yourself open, saying, I am here and available for you, isn't always enough. Sometimes you have to provide first, before they'll ask for it. Anticipate their needs before they do. That's often how I've approached a coterie. They may not always tell you what they need either. Some kindred are very bad at communicating.
Oh,
Some will
yes.
outright lie to you.
Oh, yes.
What does your Suisi's friend need?
She needs food.
Yes, all of us
And
do.
she needs safety. I noticed she mentions a lot. She believes fully that we're not going to survive this, which I don't blame her. Baron Jameson was pretty keen on making a note that he's just going to off our heads in the next week.
This city takes the masquerade very seriously, Faust.
Reasonably. I see no fault in that. I want to take it as seriously.
And I want to protect you. But I have no bearing in Jameson's domain. I barely have any bearing here. I'm here to guide you, but that's really all I can offer you right now.
I can't help but feel that that's so much of what I need. I feel so lost. I have no sure footing wherever I step.
And you
Everything
won't.
just feels like sand.
It always will. You'll never be absolutely certain, and you will be glad for the small victories. The best thing that you can do is if you're going to make a decision, you make it with conviction. This threat, this listening device thing that you found, should really be the first thing on your mind. And you must be willing to end that threat in whatever way you can, because if you do not only you, but the rest of your coterie will be at risk. And potentially the rest of this city.
I understand.
So as soon as you find out for sure that this man is the one that you think he is, if he's the one behind that device, that you deal with him decisively.
He's interested in me, so I gotta draw him out.
Be smart about it, Faust. Because if you try and draw him out blindly, try to force the issue, what do you intend to do?
It has to be a subtle step. And there's two people I know who are subtle. Who can perform subtlety with their skills. I just hope they're the people who want to do it.
Then you have to offer them something that they are going to find worthwhile. Because not everyone is going to stick their neck out for you.
Right. I have to give them a conviction themselves.
So, when you find the owner of this listening device, what are you going to do?
I have 3 avenues. My first is to ask you. But now I'm understanding I have a sooner path. I witnessed it, in fact. And I think it would benefit her.
And that would be...
to give her a sense of safety. There is power. There is,
You're not speaking with conviction, Faust.
You're right.
What do you intend to do? A venture must be decisive in all things. And he cannot waver, because he is the backbone to everything. Because if the backbone fails, everything does.
I'm going to put Sebastian more under our direct control as a coterie.
No. You are going to kill him. If he is the owner of that device, you are going to kill him.
We'll
Because
find out everything we know. We'll find out everything he knows. And
if
then
he
we'll
is a
kill him.
threat to the masquerade, he needs to be erased. There is no if, ands, or buts about it, Faust. And he's just staring at you deadpan.
I
Because
understand.
if you leave him alive, he will continue to be a threat, regardless of whether or not he is yours. Because eventually it will break, whether by your control or by his. And it'll become a thing to deal with yet again. I've had several ghouls in my lifetime turn on me, and I've had to anticipate it, because it is going to happen. if this person is a threat to the masquerade, then no, it is not worth it. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. It's completely understood.
Good. Then we're agreed.
Thank you.
Now it's your job to determine whether it is this Sebastian Moore or not.
I'll draw him out. Like the little cockroach he is. I'll have honey placed just for him. And I will draw him out. And squish him.
Now, was there anything else? Now that that bit of unpleasantness is out of the way.
No. No. You answered all my questions, Mr. Wilford. I'm indebted to you.
I do care about your success, Faust.
I know. Still trying to learn what it all means.
You're only a year or so and some old. Give it time. If there's anything I learned about you so far as you are an impatient young man.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. I haven't lived 200 years. And I only have a week to spend right now, so...
Then get to it, Mr. Buford.
I'll be on it. Stand up.
I look forward to a progress report, he says a little bit more out loud.
You'll see the best of me.
I look forward to it.
And Faust actually goes in for a handshake, but then also does a bit of a side hug.
The handshake Alistair is completely fine with. The side hug, he's like a little taken aback because this is also where he's kind of working. And he gives you a pat on the shoulder as you side hug him. And kind of just gives you a small smile. Have a good rest of your evening and good rest of your week.
You'll see me at the end of it, one way or another.
I look forward to it.
Faust sees himself off as he goes by all the people. He doesn't really look up at them. He steps, heel toe, counting every individual step until he leaves the building.
What's going through your mind, Mr. Buford?
I'm afraid. But I can't be. Out of character.
Mm-hmm.
He's moving back to the coterie house.
All right, back to the coterie house it is for the young Mr. Buford. Let's catch up with Noel. Noel, you spent the night at your own personal haven, but where do you go after that? Or spent the day, rather.
I need to go and talk with my sire. That's what I need to do.
And you find her at the usual spot, the place where she's collected quite a number of things. She's set up a couple of interesting little pieces here and there. Where most of everything is well decorated, perhaps to try and obfuscate the fact that she has a library of material. Some of which you know that would probably be very well hidden. Other pieces, she has a very mundane collection of this and that about myths, legends, some occults. All of it written by mortals.
Yes, all of it written by mortals, because, you know. Noel kind of enters in, and you can see there's just this look of concern on his face. It's this grim look.
Why such a sour face?
Don't I have a story or five for you?
Well, I suppose I should say good evening.
And a good evening to you as well.
I forget my manners sometimes.
It's fine. Oh boy.
What's wrong?
Well, let's start with the most pressing thing.
There are more than one.
This. Yeah, and the rest.
Oh, my darling Khalid, what did you do?
This coterie is going to be the death of me, in a quite possibly literal sense.
You see that her eyebrows just kind of shunt up in... And then she cocks one in confusion?
In the shared haven, we found a listening device. Bug.
Alright.
And currently, I am on day 2 of a wake that I've been given. That we've been given to try and find this before the Baron himself personally comes looking for our heads.
Khalid.
Let's be real, Alio. I'm lucky I got the week. With this kind of issue and the kind of suspicions that the city has about myself and you and the rest of us, the rest of this coterie, the week was generous. He could have taken every last one of our heads, and no one would have blinked an eye.
And yet he did not.
No, because this is a chance to prove that despite the suspect nature of who it is we are and where it is that we come from, that we might be able to be useful to the domain and to the city as a whole. I've got people I trust looking into it.
Okay.
That's
But
that's the most pressing thing. But if that were all, well, I wouldn't be here right now.
you said a listening device. What do you mean a
I did.
listening device?
Small, well-crafted PCB with a microphone, short-range
PCB.
wireless transmitter, printed circuit board, like a small board of wires.
Right. Some kind of technology thing.
Yeah. It's got a microphone and a short-range wireless transmitter so that someone nearby could pick up what was being picked up by the microphone.
Alright. That's strange.
Yeah,
I've never used
considering we
such
hadn't
things for
at
listening devices before.
it's a high-tech solution, but even without that, there's nothing that we've done that would warrant its planting. So there's only a couple of things that people who I would imagine would plant something like that.
Which are?
One of my coterie mates had an issue with a stalker,
A stalker.
a actually I'm not sure if he knows that, so I'm going to refrain from saying that. And unfortunately, this stalker, or at least who I believe to be this stalker from what he has said, is paired with O'Leary.
O'Leary.
Hmm.
Isn't that the one who was after you?
Yeah, due to the bait and switch I pulled with the hand. And that's not even the worst of it.
What is worse?
Well, I'm not particularly liked by a couple of my coterie mates. There's been some issue with.
You are a child of Hakim. This should not come as a surprise to you.
It doesn't. But right now, I'm trying to help them as best I possibly can, and yet these particular two seem so eager to walk into and play with a fire that they don't understand. Before I go any further, some context. There are. This coterie is formed of 4 members: myself, the Ventru Faust,
The
the one
one
that
I.
you told me to keep an eye on.
Yes.
I can be relatively sure that he's not. I've seen some things recently that would cast that suspicion into doubt.
The fact
Although I'm keeping my eye on him still. As
you
much that
don't
could
think that
develop
he's
with that.
Kamaria.
I don't think that he's Kamaria, no.
And why do you believe that?
he's mentioned suffering very deeply in the Purge of Dallas, for one. And for two, he's far too naive.
Even in the Camarilla, they can be naive.
Oh, but not this level of naive. A Ventrue so naive that even I could walk all over him with nary an effort.
You are a very intelligent man.
I am, but I also know my limits when it comes to social interactions with people, and even I could outweigh him in some of those cases.
How strange.
And so instead of, I don't see him as a suspect to be watched. I see him as an opportunity,
I suppose an
someone who could be.
opportunity is better.
Mm. There is an exile from somewhere in Australia, I believe, by the name of Ahure,
Hmm.
Clan Gangrel.
Oh, interesting. So far from
She's
home.
a she's a rough one.
Gangrel tend to be a little rough around the edges.
It's not just around the edges; it's around the edges and all the way through. In fact, if I didn't know any better, I would say that she's wrapped in sandpaper. And then there's Maria. Clan Samisi.
Zamisi.
Mm-hmm. From what I gather, a shovelhead that was left in the thick of it. Or at least, I believe that's the right term. I had that thrown around when it came to her.
Shovelhead. A term used by the Sabbats.
Yeah, I believe, from what I've heard, her sire was Sabat, but has since abandoned this poor girl, and she's just stuck where she is.
How
Baron
unfortunate.
Jameson saw it fit to lump me in with the rest of the suspects, the suspect fledglings, which I can't blame him for. If I was in his position, I'd probably do the same thing.
Our whole clan is suspicious, Khalid. When it comes to anarchs,
It is. It is. A hooray. Due to my adherence to law, Ahure thinks that I'm Kami. I've already tried explaining it to her that I
let's
had the chance to become Camarilla at the very beginning of my time as kindred, and you and I both decided to not follow in their footsteps. Why would I change my decision now if they had nothing to offer me when they were stronger?
Why do you care so much about proving them wrong? Why not just let them think what they think? You do not have to tell them, you just
Because
have to show them.
because she's stubborn enough that she doesn't want to believe the actions placed in front of her, and if we're to work together as a coterie for me to prove this, there has to be some level of trust, and there just isn't.
Who
Some
is
of
not
that is my fault.
who is not trusting you, and what did you do?
I had a rough couple of days, which ended up with my blade becoming envenomated. Envenomed, rather.
Oh, Khalid.
I put my hand up and say that that was my fault.
And did you actually apologize?
Yes. I
Same.
also went hunting for her.
But that
Because I
doesn't.
did deal damage to her.
Yes, you may have hurt her. But what did you do to rectify the issue? Feeding is an everyday occurrence. That's as
I
simple.
helped her.
That's the equivalent of going to a convenience store when someone has been hurt and needs a a bandage, like a very very long one, but you give them a band-aid instead.
I had spoken with her. However, she decided to play the game of assurances. You know that fire that I was talking about?
You did mention a fire, yes.
Do you know of a man who goes by the name Carnage?
I've heard the name slung around. Have I ever
He
met him? No.
is. I've had the pleasure.
And what did you think?
He's dangerous.
As are all kindred.
He sees a kind of familial bond, like like an uncle to a niece, with Maria the Zamisi. Maria feels drawn to him because he is the one out of everyone in the city who has answers about who and what she is and where she comes from. He prostrates himself to be Anarch, but he is former, as far as he says, Sabat, and I'm not willing to believe that that former is a thing.
Has he
The only
proven to you
reason
otherwise?
he has come across to me as a zealot, a religious zealot.
Does that not surprise you? There are plenty
No,
of religious zealots who claim to be Camarilla, claim to be Anarch, claim to be Sabbat, claim to be independent.
it's more. I know better than quite a large number of people what a zealot is willing to do to see his agenda through, and the only reason that he is even tolerated in this city is because he hunted down members of his former pack, people who he believed to be traitors. And yet both Maria and Ahure wish to go down this path of trying to use him for information. I have heard the way that the elders in the city think of him, the way that they interact with him. They won't give him information even if he was to pay the price that they're asking for. I figured that that's a wise decision, and yet they want to run headlong into it anyway.
Do you offer
So,
a better alternative?
I've given Maria what little I know about her clan.
It's not enough then.
It's not enough, no. But I'm trying to find something else, anything else, because Carnage cannot be trusted.
No, we
And
cannot.
unfortunately, she decided to tell him about the altercation that we had had, and he had decided that it was in my best interest to keep her protected, lest he rip out my spine and beat me to death with it. Something that I'm sure that he's capable of doing. You could imagine that I didn't appreciate having something like him leveled at me in such a manner.
Tell me what is it that you have learned about arrogance, my child?
It's a poison unlike any other.
And why do you think that you are having so much trouble with your coterie?
With Ray and Maria, because I'm actually having no issues with Faust, weirdly enough. He and I have come to an understanding with each other.
Probably
With
because you
those
are very
two,
like minds. Ventru are very, very arrogant people sometimes.
Hmm.
But I understand your needs for things to be right and just. Because that is what we are. We are the ones who make everything right. We are the judges. But to be a fair judge, one must know their enemy and know them well enough and not let their arrogance get in the way of them making good decisions. If you believe that he is going to be a threat to your coterie, then you keep him close. If you think that he is just a religious zealot who has nothing left to lose, then that is what he is. Does he threaten you, aside from your bodily harming?
not me, not directly. The
Yes.
other two, I'm not so sure. Unfortunately, Carnage is one of those individuals who you worry about not because you know that he will lie through his teeth to you, but because he won't. Because he can't.
Then you can trust that about him.
Oh, I can. The issue becomes, though, that if he decides to proselytize, that one or both of Ray and Maria won't take those words a little more to heart than one would like.
Hmm. It's an interesting thought.
He's a concern because I believe that keeping him close, the knowledge that he knows, could be used to sow more distrust amongst the coterie.
Then find a better alternative. There may not be
Yeah.
one, and you may have to accept that. But what would you do about it? Because I'm sure she's looking at you like you could have all the knowledge in the world and it still would mean nothing.
Yeah. All I can do is hope that the advice I've given to her in the past is enough to put in her mind that I'm not just rambling nonsense.
Sometimes you have to let those who are young walk into their own consequences. If there are consequences to be had, they will be had. Sometimes it is our job to dish out those consequences. Sometimes it is not. But to think that you are the only one to dish out these consequences is arrogance.
No, I know I'm not the only one. You are right. That is an exceptionally arrogant thought of me. It's I'm simply worried that if he says things and he becomes a problem, and through him, the other two coterie members become a problem by ascribing to his ideology,
What ideology
that
has
I'm
he
going.
given you?
He is a devout Canite.
Interesting. Does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me, but it worries me. Because whilst being a Canite makes sense for one who would come from an organization that espouses themselves as the sword of Cain, it's the depth of his devotion that worries me.
I am just as devoted to Allah.
Yes, but Allah does not espouse the masquerade.
No. No, that belief is not a threat to the masquerade. But I could be. Just something to think about. Not something to stew on very deeply.
Mm. I just I just want to make sure that this doesn't run so far away that we can't do something about it, you know?
Protect yourself from it. That is really all that you can do.
Yeah.
You can attempt to keep them from straying on some path. But ultimately, you cannot command them. Couldn't even if you were to try. That is not something that our clan has the opportunity for.
Hmm. I suppose I just have to, as much as it pains me, I suppose I just have to let it go.
To a point. Let it go and that the consequences do not come on you. They are free anarchs. They may choose their own destiny.
Hmm.
And may whatever comes to them come to them. Whether it be good or ill.
Yeah.
And she kind of
I
puts a
needed
hand
that.
on your cheek.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I did come here seeking guidance. Guidance is most certainly what I got. And I appreciate that.
Of course. You are always free to come and see me.
Hmm. Now, I believe that Faust wanted some help with a matter tonight. If he needs my help, then at the very least I can be there for him and his endeavors.
Still keep an eye on him.
Yeah, of course. No, well, if you would like my frank thoughts on him, I think he is an unaffiliated fledgling who got chased out of a city and never got time to establish. And he ended up coming here. And so I hope the city has a good effect on him. If it doesn't, well, what you said about keeping enemies close.
Yes, if he is Camarilla from Dallas, we may be looking at another invasion. We certainly do not want that.
If he is, I'll stop it before it starts.
We don't exactly have a war baron. Not that I'm aware of.
No. No. We have naught but legends, myths. Baron Jameson, Baron Batista, and Baron von Sventgal zu Altenburg.
Yes. The three barons of San Antonio.
The three barons. Right. I am going to go and rejoin with Faust. I hope the rest of the evening finds you well. Alia.
And I hope the rest of the evening finds you well, Khalid. Please do not do anything stupid.
I'm not planning on it.
Good.
And with that, Noel is gonna he's
No.
gonna head out.
All right. Then I think that is where we are going to take a brief break. And then we'll come back and see what it is that our lovely Iconoclasts will do next. We'll be right back with San Antonio by Night Aftermath. Welcome back, everyone, to San Antonio by Night Aftermath. Noel and Faust went to go and visit their respective sires, or mentors, and get some advice on how to proceed with this little fiasco that seems to be going on in their coterie home, while Ahure and Sam were ushered out the door by Maria, and Ahure decided, why not grab something to eat for Maria in case that's what she needs right now. So, Ahure and Sam, Ahure has this unconscious person on her back, carrying them toward the house, and Samantha's walking with her, and the two of them enter the house slowly, kind of cautiously, knocking, I suppose, before they do, so that they can not startle a perhaps still paranoid fiend. But that is the scene that we open up on. Maria, you would hear a knocking at the door, indicating that someone was there.
Say that last bit again.
Oh, I was just saying
Somebody was here.
that you hear a knocking, that somebody's at the door, the back door.
Okay, I thought all of a sudden I started getting panicky, and I still am a little bit. I'm heading out to the back door. Who is it?
It's us.
It's us.
She opens the blinds a bit, double checks, slowly cracks open the door and lets them in. She's observing them.
Ray steps in, watching Maria watch them. Yeah, she's not doing so great tonight.
And you do see that Ray has an unconscious person in her arms.
Who's that?
The delivery guy.
Oh, funny. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he brought dinner for us.
I'm going
Decided to order in.
Because
I believe I'm still at the -2, correct?
yeah, you would be at your paranoia penalty.
Seems legit.
Mm-hmm.
You do know if I do this, it's not going to end well, right?
It's alright, we won't let you pig out too much.
She's very cautious. She doesn't dive her in. She's just careful. She's wondering when old Scratch is gonna show up. She can already feel him. As she starts to sink fangs into flesh.
An old Scratch is right there on the surface. And so I need you to make me a hunger frenzy.
Ray is right there at her side in case anything goes wrong.
Would that qualify as +1?
I would say a +1 for Sam. Yes.
Okay.
And as soon as you sink fangs into that flesh and taste of that delicious red liquid, you start to guzzle. It's not slow and meticulous and not harmful. This is downing everything that you can in an instant to try and sate yourself as quickly as possible.
Yeah, this is a person who's been dehydrated in a desert for days on end, finding their first drink of water. It's like fasting and finally breaking the fast. You wish to just eat as much as possible.
And he's right there, old Scratch, telling you to gorge, drink it all. It's all yours. It's meant to be yours. It's part of your neighborhood.
If it starts to look,
Hooray.
starts to look like she's gone too far, Ray is going to pull her off.
You would know that as Maria's fangs dip in, you can tell that she's drinking way too fast for something that's controlled. This is an out of control feeding. You know that if you don't pull this person off quickly, then she is going to kill them.
Yep. So she pulls her off.
You said that. One second. You said that this feeding, it still would be 2 points, but by about this time, but being pulled off, right? So it's been at least a turn since I frenzied.
Yes, it has.
I am going to spend a willpower to regain for 1 turn.
Okay.
Because, and on that turn, I am going to lick the wound, not even properly, just 1 lick, giving it to Seal, and I am rushing out of the room. I'm running into my own room. However many willpower checks, or however many costs of willpower you need to take that, but she needs to do this before she kills somebody.
Okay. Then, yes, the wound is sealed. And it was still pretty harmful. So I'm gonna call for a medicine check on a Hooray's part to see if she can find out whether this person's gonna be injured too terribly. And
medicine. What's my other roll?
Wits. You're pretty sure he's gonna be okay? He's still breathing.
Yeah, that's something. And Samantha's gonna go up towards the room. She's not gonna knock or anything. She's just gonna stand outside the door.
She's crawled onto her bed in a rapid fashion. She's huddled, hugging her own knees. She's watching as the blood from her chin is dripping onto the denim that she's wearing. Her jeans are stained. Her blouse is stained. Her hand reaches up to rub her face and starts licking at the fingertips, trying kind of the same way that she would have if she was mortal, enjoying maybe some greasy fast food or something, but she is trying to get it all greedily. She's hanging on to herself. She feels like she could have lost it at any given point, and she needs... That was so hard. So hard to end up pulling away. She could have drained him dry. She wanted to.
The voice is quieter now, but Old Scratch is still there asking you why. Why not take it all?
Because then you'd win. And you don't get to win while I'm still standing. Not one bit. I don't care what it ends up turning into, you don't get to win.
But didn't they tell you I always win in the end?
She sits there in silence. She knows that thought is right. Descendant of Cain, after all. Murdered his brother. I've already caused enough murder.
After a few minutes of hearing you go mostly quiet inside the room, you hear a knock. You okay?
Yeah. No. But I'm better. I'm doing better. It's... Come in, Sammy.
And she opens the door a little sheepishly and comes in.
Maria's sitting there. She's bloodstained. I don't know how y'all end up doing this. Still, been a year and I'm still... It's kind of just gestures as a bits of arterial spray decorate her current wardrobe.
It's probably gonna be hard for a while until you really get something solid going on in down here.
I don't think that's gonna happen, Sammy. I think it's over.
It's not over. You've never been a quitter.
I've never had this kind of shit poured on me before. It ain't... I don't know how else I can end up putting this. I've never been in this kind of trouble. And everybody else seems to just have it all figured out. And they can do anything. They can get away with anything. And all of it just goes off like water off a duck's backside.
I don't know about that.
I've watched them. Every one of them assured. I can't keep up.
She goes over to a dresser and starts pulling out a new shirt for you.
She starts to undress and wipes her face off with what the part that isn't stained in blood. Tosses it into a hamper.
You know that I am pretty well connected, right?
She looks up.
If you need something, you can come to me, you know that.
Yeah, well, unless you... I don't even know what I would be asking for. I'm lost in a world I don't understand, and I'm left with all this hullabaloo. I just don't make no sense. I'm losing myself constantly, and I'm seeing the worst in me come out, Sammy. I'm seeing it every night, and it's only been getting faster since I met these here three. It's like they have this ability to just bring it out of me in the worst possible of ways.
If you don't want
Things
to
that-
be here, I might have an out. I didn't want to bring it up before because I know my Johnny is gonna be fucking livid about it, but I don't care. You know the domain sanctuary?
Heard of it?
There's a girl who is kind of thin bloods that I know there. Her name is M. She'd take you in.
Jameson would end up having a field day about it.
Yeah, he would.
And him's gonna save me from a baron like Jameson.
Apparently she's the right hand to the Baron von Schwenk-Altenberg. At least has her ear. Sanctuary's always been a safe place for people who can put in the effort.
It's for thin bloods, isn't it? My blood ain't so thin.
Nobody needs to know that. You can change your face and disappear.
She finishes putting her clothes on. I need to think about it, Sammy. If I do that, there's no coming back. I can't see you anymore. And God knows what Jameson's gonna end up doing. Especially with you.
Yep.
Girl, I would not end up letting him. No. No. Give me a few days to figure this out.
Okay,
I'm not letting him touch you.
then what do you want to know?
We need to end up knowing where the hell, who was listening in. What they know. I'm gonna presume Ray ended up telling you about it.
Vaguely.
I need to end up finding out what they know. I need to find out who they are. And I need to put them 6 feet under. I need to get rid of every piece of evidence that they ever took. I need to end up making sure that in the end, none of this comes back to any of us. And then I need to end up building this place into something else. This might be in the Baron's backyard, but it's my backyard, damn it.
The barbecue was a good idea.
By the time I'm done, this place will be a goddamn fortress. Promise you that. First things first. She looks at the door. She wants to hit something. She wants to lash out. There's a part of her that just does not like any piece of this. That terrible anger. Fury. And something else. Maria's not entirely ignorant to know that this has got to be the blood talking. But maybe she don't much care none. She opens the door.
And Samantha follows you out.
I'm gonna go check in on Ray. And we're gonna have a sit. I'm gonna figure this thing out.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
I just wanna... She looks at her hands. I gotta figure this out. She starts walking into the room, hoping she didn't leave a goddamn corpse.
And when the two of you come back, this unconscious person is still on the ground, but it does look like they're breathing, so maybe all is well?
She licks the gums. She can still end up tasting his blood in between the teeth.
Ray is squatting beside him, going through his pockets, picking out anything that's valuable, rings, cash, anything like that.
You see a couple of credit
But
cards.
nothing identifying.
Yeah, you see a
She
couple of
leaves
credit
credit
cards. You don't see any cash in his wallet.
Yeah. She leaves credit cards. Credit cards are too easy to track.
Give me his wallet.
Ray tosses it over to Maria.
She takes a phone. Starts taking photos of licenses, registration, family photos.
You don't find any photos in the wallet.
Right. Appreciate it.
What's that for?
She hands the wallet back to Ray.
Ray tucks it back in the pocket that she pulled it out of.
Just trying to end up covering my bases, Sammy. If somebody's gotta
Good
take a
call.
fall, I'd rather end up having as much on them as possible to make sure of it.
And before too long, you hear that there are two people walking up towards the house, towards the front door.
Maria, I'm gonna take him and get rid of him.
Yeah. I don't think I want to thank you, Ray.
doing what I'm doing.
I get you. I'm gonna get the dough. She walks through the kitchen and grabs a butcher knife.
As Maria
Right.
does that, Ray hoists the man on her shoulders again
Mm.
and starts to take him out the back through the shadows of the back gate.
All right. And you're going to take him a couple of blocks away to
Back
get him.
to where she grabbed him. Back to where she grabbed him, but she's going to take a different path to get there.
Okay. So you'll probably be gone for 15 minutes to an hour?
Yep.
And Sam just kind of stays out of view for now while you go and get the door.
Crack it open. Knife's behind the door, ready for action.
And you see Noel and Faust walking up to the house.
For fuck's sakes. She puts the knife back on the counter. Tries to end up pulling up a seat. Waits at the kitchen table. Her eyes are constantly at that door.
I walk in and hold it open for Mr. Stoneford.
Thank you, Faust. And he'd enter.
Look over to Miss Higgs. Well, good evening.
I hope so.
Everything all right?
No, just dandy. We end up having a wire in the house and don't know where the hell to even start looking. Don't know who to end up checking or who to ask. Haven't heard nothing about no police report.
I see. It's a very stressful time. But I think I have an idea. I'm happy to be here with all of you to talk about it. Wait,
Oh,
where's Ray?
Samantha actually comes out from
Right.
behind the kitchen kind of separator right now. Oh, I'm still here.
Miss Jefferson. I didn't quite see you.
Oh, I was
Welcome.
purposefully hiding.
No need to do that. Well,
Well, we didn't know
Not
if
with
it was
us,
going to be
anyway.
you.
fair. How do you bid this evening?
You said you had an idea.
Yeah, I think it would be excellent if we could all gather as a group and discuss our options here.
Maria gets up and starts walking to the kitchen window to see the front. Pulls it aside, trying to see if maybe there's a black van tail them or something. Somebody might be listening in.
Give me a wits awareness. It's kind of dark out. You're not seeing anything in the immediate area, and you're pretty close to the street, as far as you understand.
Yeah. Well, Ray'll be back soon enough. She has had to drop someone off. I end up... So we can end up talking then.
Reasonably, I'm uncomfortable with having certain private discussions here. So if it's all the same, I actually have a new location in mind for us, if we wish to venture there. Alas. Ah,
Have you
Miss
told
Jefferson.
Ray of this place?
No, I'm afraid not. We will have to wait for her.
Okay.
Hmm.
So are we just waiting then?
Seems to be about right.
Very well. Miss Higgs,
Yeah.
this evening, what precisely are your plans?
Getting a little late for my plans, to be honest with you. If I had the time and the resources, I would have ended up having to meet one of the neighbors. I was hoping to be able to get a hold of him, but
I see. And which neighbor would that be?
feel better if I can end up talking to Deacon. I'll end up talking to his lovely young thing.
I see. Maybe you could still catch them. What time is it, precisely?
It's getting pretty close to midnight.
Yeah, a little late.
Hmm. Well, that certainly makes it difficult. How about this? I'll actually see if you can still get a hold of Deacon this evening. There's a probability.
Probability.
That's correct. On my way back, I would have picked up a new Go phone. Or something like that, a prepaid phone. Because it re-coded in all the phone numbers that I had, the contacts and whatnot. Because that can't go on without connecting to people. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I go ahead and make a ring up to Anna Parker.
And she answers. Hello?
Hello, Miss Parker. How are you this evening?
You're calling my personal number while I'm at work.
I am indeed. Sorry about that. You know how it is. If it's not too terribly important, then I don't want to be calling on the main line just in case other people need to use it.
Detective Muniz has been trying to get a hold of you all fucking day.
I thought I was able to interpret to him that I worked night shifts typically, but
yeah, you wanted to be informed of the thing, whatever thing he was working on.
Do you happen to have his number? I'd be more than happy to follow up with him.
He's already on his way.
I see.
And that's about when you hear a knock at the door.
If you could you go ahead and message me a Deacon Johnson? Officer Deacon Johnson's number.
Okay. You don't already have his number?
You passed me along to Officer Muniz, but we still have some conversations to be had. You take care this evening, Miss Parker.
I'll see what I can do.
I appreciate it.
You're still paying me, right?
Yes. Of course.
Because how frequently you're doing this, it's kind of getting a little heat on me. I'm gonna need a bigger paycheck.
I'll see to it. You'll be getting a raise coming up in the next week. I can guarantee.
There's a knock on the door again.
I have a visitor, so I'm gonna have to be going now. I do believe that's Detective Muniz at this very moment.
Okay, goodbye.
Good evening. Okay. I go ahead and peek out the window. Sure enough, who is it?
Yep, it's him.
It's him. Wonderful. I open it up and flush the awe.
You mean Blush of Life?
That too. I hate having to do this every time.
Well, if you have no intention of touching him, then sure.
Oh, I do. I just don't want to touch him like that. Never mind. I don't want to do flush of life. Don't take that the wrong way.
And
Oh, it's straight out of context.
I would say too late.
All right, whatever.
you see that he's there at the door.
All right. I turn to everyone else. I wink, and then I open up.
And then there he is.
Detective Muniz, good evening.
Mr. Beaufort.
Please come in. Come in. We've
And
had an interesting set of nights here.
who are your friends?
These are my roommates here, as well as partners. We have Mr. Stoneford right here. This is Miss Higgs, Miss Jefferson.
And Samantha just kind of like cutely waves a little bit and then kind of leans up against a wall and kind of just folds her arms and tries to look unassuming.
Everyone, this is
Oh,
Detective.
not an acknowledgement.
I know some of you have already met him, but all of you, Detective Muniz, our savior in action.
I wouldn't say that exactly.
I'm counting on you, so I'm saying it, trying to manifest.
Right. So that thing that you had us pick up turns out it's homemade.
Homemade.
Yeah, there's no
So-
identifying markings about it.
I see. Does it have some sort of tracing to it? Anything that we can work off of?
No, it's short range. It was meant to maybe broadcast 100 feet at most.
That's like Bluetooth. So what, you're saying we have an active neighbor?
Possibly.
Yeah. Overactive neighbor, if you will.
Yeah, we did some investigating on that as well. You did say that before. And we're still looking to see if there's anything suspicious going on, but so far, nothing.
I see. That's a shame. So tell me a bit about this. What sort of leads do you have, precisely? Any names?
Not a lot, really. Nothing. It doesn't store anything. It's just a broadcast device.
I see. And any suspect or eyewitnessing would just have to fall on us.
Yeah. That's kind of where we're at.
Well, that's unfortunate. Mr. Stoneford, you're a strong
Yeah.
man. You're a strong man, aren't you?
Wait,
Don't say I'm no slouch.
I've seen your face.
Have you?
Yeah. Weren't you giving a a statement at
Yeah.
that firm the other night?
Yeah, no, we found that dude stabbed, and I had to give a statement because I tried to help him, but unfortunately he passed. He's declared dead on the scene by the EMTs that arrived.
That's where I
I
recognize
was
your
in
name
front.
from. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
no,
under-
it's very unfortunate that.
You understand why I'm particularly antsy right now
Yes.
because of this particular event, right?
And I completely understand, Mr. Beaufort, but at the same time, there's no identifying markers about that device. There's not much more that we can find.
You said that it was homemade.
Yeah, like
I'm
somebody
guessing the
knows what they're doing.
I'm guessing someone would have had to have gotten the components somewhere.
Yeah, you manufacturer symbols, maybe. But you can buy parts for anything, anywhere.
It's just a thought. Because I figured it was homemade. I heard, those Radio Shack build yourself up PCB kits or something
Radio
like that.
Shack? Are they even in business anymore?
I don't know, but you get what I mean, though. Something similar to that, like a DIY kit.
Yeah, like
For
I
stuff
said,
like
you
that.
can
I know that's
buy
kind of
those
stuff exists.
anywhere. We don't
Miss
know.
Higgs, I'm afraid we might be here for just a moment to go over some discussion with Detective Muniz. If you don't mind, why don't you? How about you mix him up a drink? Can we offer you anything, Detective?
No, I'm
Perhaps
just here to
a
deliver
juice?
that news and be on my way. I've got to get back to it.
That is fair enough. We don't want to keep the detective waiting, after all.
Where have I seen your face before? I don't know. You just seem familiar to me. It's getting late. I need to get home.
Yeah,
Before you go, Detective, just one more thing. I get up close to him, and we're just gonna bite him, and we're gonna lingering kiss him.
When you lean in like that, he is definitely going to try and avoid that because he thinks that you're coming onto him really strong.
Well, I have awe up. That was the first indicator.
Oh
that
yes, you get a bonus. You get a bonus for that, for persuasion
I
and
get a-
charisma rolls. You get a bonus
Persuasion
for
and
persuasion
performance.
rolls. But you look
No,
like you're gonna
he's
kiss
not-
him.
He's not interested in me kissing him?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. You're gonna say something different.
Well, I think that would be an opposed check then at this point. Is
It would
need
be
to
an
push
opposed check.
back versus your on persuasion, where it's this is a little bit awkward, and see if you can get the hesitation to do it. No, that would be my thoughts.
Yeah, which is completely valid. So
Can I?
So it's
you want to go for it?
A goodbye kiss. Please, Mr. Detective
This is
Music. Yes.
for you. This is gonna be either a strength persuasion or subterfuge versus his strength athletics to try and resist you.
We're gonna go strength persuasion.
And then you can add your roll to it.
An awe would be 2 dots, right?
If you have 2 dots in presence, yes. Yeah, he's gonna try for that last that last one.
You can try, but it still
Yeah.
meets and beats.
Yep. Well, there you go.
All right.
So you've successfully grappled this person into your bite.
Suck 2 dots out of him and lingering kiss him.
What's your hunger level at right now?
Good question.
Before you take any, what's your hunger level? 2? To take 2,
Yeah, I think
you'd
it
have
was-
to kill him.
To take 2, I'd kill him.
Yep.
Yeah, because that'd drop you to hunger 0, which means you have to drain and kill him to do that. So you could take
Fine.
1, and you're back to 1.
Dot. 1 dot. Is he tired? Is he exhausted from a long workday? Between the fucking this thing and a murder that just happened in front of my workplace?
He is not
overworked?
an overworked individual.
I
He
guess
is-
you're spending 2 willpower.
Yep.
Yep.
Goodbye,
If you've got
willpower.
it, you should probably cloud memory him too.
I am indeed doing that. The whole point is the lingering kiss.
I'm going to ask that we refrain from out of character reminders, please.
My
Well, I
apologies.
was going to do the cloud memory anyways.
Oh, I know. But I don't want that to ever influence what it is you do.
Alright.
And so you spend the 2 willpower to down this disgusting blood. Because he's actually very happy in his work. You don't like that flavor. That flavor is disgusting to you. You like it when the people hate their job, that they're overworked, they don't want to be there anymore. You like that flavor.
We're gonna make him hate his job. As soon as he starts going limp, Faust is gonna gently set him down on the floor, and in his iffiness, Faust is gonna look at Maria, point to her. Get this man a drink.
Of course, I end up going into the fridge. I think I still got some leftover mix from.
Ma'am. Miss Higgs, please. Not that kind of drink.
Oh, I know.
Ah.
She walks up to this individual and ends up making no hits on it. She ends up walking up and reaching up to her, or bringing her wrist up to her mouth and bites. It's at that point she looks into him and simply ends up saying, "Drink," and that is a command.
Okay. I am basically creating this character sheet on the fly. I was not expecting to have to roll for this guy, but okay.
Well, he's immortal, so unless something else is going, this should be a free one.
Yeah, he's not prepared for a compel.
Okay. And with that, I will rouse the blood.
All right. So you're giving him enough to ghoul him?
Nope, I'm using Domitor's favor.
Oh, Domitor's favor. Fantastic.
So, to be clear for anybody who doesn't know, basically Domitor's favor says that they're going to have a very, very difficult time operating against me at any given point, and are probably going to... It's a much more vicious version of a blood bond. While they're not fully bonded, if they ever want to go against my wishes or try and fight me on an option, they have to end up still making the roll, and I believe it is at penalty. So,
Yeah,
let's see.
any resistance rolls to resist your commands are at a
3
negative
dice penalty. They cannot spend willpower.
Mm.
So while they only need 1 success, that has a chance of busting it down to a 50-50. So even then,
Right.
the weakest of blood bonds still has some strength to it.
Yep. Fair enough.
Faust looks at Maria at that point and says with absolute conviction, "This man is your shield now. Use him as such." And with that, he turns to him, Cloud's memory.
I lick the
Turns to detective.
I lick the wound real quick to hide it.
Oh,
And as he's kind of coming out of that daze, you lock eyes with him and cloud his memory. And he's not sure why he's on the floor right now. The hell happened?
seemed to go a little
Um,
phased there. And Detective Muniz, it's kind of late at night. Are you getting enough sleep?
I don't know. I've never fainted before.
Oh heavens! I would get that checked.
Yeah.
See if-
Here, get up. Yeah, Maria grabs him and starts to get him into a chair.
Oh, all right. I feel a little bit woozy. I think I'm okay though.
Oh. Hold on, I'll end up getting you something to drink.
Yeah, somebody said something about drinks.
Yes, I was gonna end up saying getting orange juice, and apparently you need it. Here.
Yeah, that'd be great. And
Oh, heavens.
he takes whatever it is that you give him and starts to sip on it for a bit.
Yep.
The
Just
hell
good
hap-
old-fashioned orange juice.
It's a good question. You just suddenly fell down on the floor. Detective Muniz, I would really recommend, if this case is coming too taxing for you, I remember, Officer Johnson was the first one we called. If we need, I wouldn't mind moving the case over to him if needed. But
No. The reason I'm on this is because my shift is night shift.
I see.
Well, Detective Muniz, I would be very happy to end up having you end up coming over. I know you're doing the best you can. So, if you don't
Yeah.
mind making a stop once in a while, I'd appreciate it a little bit.
Yeah, anytime you need something, just give me a call. And
You got a number?
he pulls out a card and gives you the card, Maria.
Thank you. She looks at it and puts it aside.
Yeah, you need something, just let me know.
Well, right now I need to end up knowing who the hell. Like, is there anything you can actually tell me off the books about this? Like, at least way to protect myself?
Nah,
I'm the one. No. Okay.
we really don't know anything more. I'm sorry. It without any kind of identifying markers or knowing who planted it or anything of that sort, I'm not. I can't do anything. My hands are tied. I questioned the neighbors already, but they don't. They seemed honest enough.
No
look
one
over
stood
it.
out.
No, like I don't know. Like the Duprees across the street are are well-intentioned people. They're upstanding, and I don't know. I don't know what you want.
Just the ability to end up going and rest my head without having to worry about. Well, you get the idea. Excuse me. I gotta step away for a moment. I'm feeling lightheaded myself.
Samantha pipes up. Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah. Faust, if you be kind enough to finish up here, and we'll keep talking. She
Gladly.
takes Sam and kind of gestures to go to her room. Kind of whispers in her ear. This is more to end a bit. This is more Faust's trick than mine. I just get in the way.
Samantha nods and follows you up to your room.
You know, Detective Muniz, it's with so much going on, local patterns and just violence. All I'm trying to do is revitalize the neighborhood, bring some sort of peace to it. I've been speaking with Miss Higgs here, who's an excellent community organizer. We've been trying to find a means to really protect the neighborhood. The fact that there are unnecessary eyes going on is really disturbing. I'm just wondering.
No, I understand that, Mr. Beaufort. There's nothing I can do.
You know no one in the area who might be trying to work on a similar case like this.
Work on a case like this?
I imagine. Are you yourself just working on the case in front of my office?
I'm basically assigned to you, Mr. Beaufort.
It's wonderful. But I can't help but get the feeling that between all the different instances within the neighborhood, maybe you could provide me with some idea of who else is assisting in affairs here.
What do you mean assisting in affairs here? I don't understand your meaning.
I'm meaning maybe there are maybe all of these little instances, crimes, and organizations might be interconnected. I'm just trying to get some sort of read. Isn't it a little precarious?
You don't need to worry about that. That's on the police to handle, Mr. Beaufort. Your really only job is to keep yourself safe. Stay in a hotel, stay somewhere else, find another place to live. That's all I can recommend. You're a civilian, you're not a police officer.
I'm a civilian with very, very important credentials, though.
I understand that. Hire
I'd
a
like to
security
roll
team then.
Very well.
We're doing our best to investigate this, but right now we have no leads. That is all.
It's unfortunate. Then I leave the rest to you.
Thank you. And he gets up from the chair and begins to walk towards the front door.
Detective Muniz,
Yes.
we trust that you'll protect us by any means necessary. You'll do that, won't you?
If it's in my power, I'll do it.
I need assurance.
Then hire a security team.
There was a murder in front of my office.
Yes.
I need to know. When I say us, I mean this neighborhood.
Yes. The San Antonio Police Department is here to protect and serve. Emergency numbers are there for a reason. Use them when you need them. That's all I can guarantee.
Very well.
He starts to walk out the door.
Can I insight check?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that really all he knows? Or is he just being a bum?
Do an insight check.
Wits, insight, bump, bump.
As far as you can tell, he's being honest.
He has no affiliation. He presumably has no affiliation.
If you were trying to read that he's being surreptitious in any form, you don't get that from him at all. He's being forthcoming about the information he's given you. And
Poor
about
man.
it.
I just harassed him all night. At that point, once Detective Muniz is gone off.
Yep. He has indeed left.
Go ahead and I check my phone to see if I have Deacon Johnson's number.
I don't know that you have his number personally.
Well, I just asked Anna Parker for it. She's my contact into police. Did she give it to me?
She hasn't gotten it to you yet.
She should get on it.
How much are you willing to pay her for it? Because you've asked her several times this week alone to do things for you.
You're right, I have. But she hasn't really done anything.
She is only a one-dot contact.
And 0 dots reliability.
That's an ally you're thinking of.
Nope, that's her too.
He's
cheeky.
That's being funny.
He's cheeky.
But
I think she's waiting for you to forward her more money.
Very well. I go ahead and I send her a solid $100. Rather frustrated. I Venmo.
Send her $100 via Venmo. No.
It's not like I need to pay for groceries or anything.
As Faust is doing this, Noel is kind of just there. And after he's sure that Muniz is long gone, Noel looks to Faust. So, Faust. I have to ask this. And pardon my French. But what the fuck was that?
Assurance.
That's about when Ray starts coming back into the house.
And now we are gathered.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Welcome back. We had a very
an exciting time. Hopefully not too exciting. Please tell me it wasn't too exciting. Do I have another body to clean up?
No.
I don't smell smoke, so we're good.
Maria is coming back with Sam after Muniz is gone, and here's Ray end up coming in. Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
How
Well,
you
everyone.
feeling, Maria?
Worried.
Yeah.
But Faust wants to end up taking us for a ride. So we can talk proper.
I should
Really?
probably be getting back anyway.
She immediately gives Sammy a hug.
She hugs you
Sam?
back very generally.
Sam, you be careful.
Right. I'll keep an eye out.
As soon as Sammy leaves, Maria closes the door behind her. Looks to the rest of them. Anybody touches that thin blood, and I'm gonna make a project out of them.
She's a wonderful individual. Very sweet. Don't want to get her too involved, though.
Alright. No, let's dispense with the talking and save that for where we're heading. Faust, would you be kind enough to end up leading the way? I'm gonna get in my truck.
Yes.
And I'm gonna make it a point to check my truck for any kind of tracking devices, since at this point I am righteously paranoid.
As you ought to be.
And I believe that is still wits investigation, but now at a -2.
I would assist, except my I've got no investigation dice.
Anyone else does?
I do, I think.
Oh,
Very
then,
certain.
Then Maria, you can add one more dice to that if Faust, you want to add the assist.
Okay. Will willpower then? 4 successes.
You look over your truck. You make sure to be thorough. You check underneath all of the kind of easy to reach parts of the underneath. You check a couple of the obvious places. Nothing to be found.
Well, be grateful for small things, I suppose.
And
Getting ready to head out.
you all make your way out to a parking lot. And something
Mind
a
if I
little out of
ride
the
with you,
way.
Maria?
I didn't even catch that. What?
Oh,
Ray was just saying, mind if I ride with you, Maria?
and the 4 of you are collected in this parking lot. It's not terribly far from the Haven, but it's not terribly close either.
No, I actually intended to take everyone to the other place. Because I haven't really. Out of character, does everyone know about the chapel?
Nope.
Nope.
I do. Out of oh wait, no,
Out of-
not in character.
In character,
Okay.
nobody else knows about it but you.
Boss directs everyone to the chapel.
Okay. I'm just getting that one set up. Don't mind me.
No problem. As we drive up, Foss is just like rather deep in thought. But once we arrive there, you all will see this like small graveyard area, kind of way out of the way, somewhat outside of the city and outside of general domains. The grass around it is fairly dead, and there is a dilapidated building in the middle of it all with a couple of stray trees surrounding it. Faust hops out of the truck and goes up to it and unlocks this very large chain. It just shunk, falls with a thud. Opens up these old doors. And he just presents. Piece of real estate. I was able to get some grounding in. It's not beautiful or anything cozy like that. However, it is fairly private and out of the way.
So how much you charging God rent right now?
Oh, I think at this point, God is charging us rent.
Faust, you would know that you have not actually purchased this piece of property. It is simply something you stumbled on.
Don't let the
This-
coterie know that.
Only Faust knows that.
I have a
Sounds bad.
question. Do I recognize this place? Because Ray does a lot of scouting around the domain and around the city for places to dispose of anything she can't use.
That would be an intelligence and streetwise plus lane.
Oh, what's our lane?
It's a 1.
1.
Oof.
Not that you recall.
Any chance I could re-roll those 3?
Yeah, you can do that. If you actually want to spend time on that, yeah. Nah, it doesn't strike you as anything familiar.
It's not one of the places that I've used.
Nah,
It's really out of the way. Really private. Very
it's still
easily
in your
overlooked.
it's still in your little domain. Because
Oh,
you-
okay.
oh, did you intend it for it not to be? Because I wouldn't have included lane if it wasn't. That just makes it all the more that you don't know what this place is.
Yeah.
This is a place you have absolutely no familiarity with.
As you all enter, you notice all the boards have already been put up and care has already been taken into it. You notice like random dilapidated pieces that have just been sort of piled up in corners and set aside, and the floor is swept. He's putting care somewhere, somehow, within the small amount of time Foss put in care to get this place set up.
However, you all would know that this is kind of the outskirts of Marjani's domain.
It has a very small degree of security. That being, he holds up the lock.
Big goddamn lock. Yeah.
Yep.
She apologizes immediately, realizing she just ended up using the Lord's name.
So, we're way out, whoop whoop. Which is great for me, but, doesn't it put us a little bit far away from the stuff that we're supposed to be watching?
Yes, and that is both a boon and a vice. And the good news, if we ever need somewhere private, this is where we can be. There are no watching eyes. There are no interferences. Mr. Stoneford.
Yeah.
I've been mentioned before that there is such a thing as magic. Sorcery?
What are you asking?
I've been told that the Banu Hakim are capable of a degree of sorcery. I remember fairly well in Dallas that wards were a horrible, horrible thing to stumble upon. Ever, always.
Oh, Faust, Faust, Faust. You have no idea.
Is that becoming your catchphrase or something? No.
uh,
I'm almost
no.
tempted to make a recording just so anytime somebody says something that might be of interest, I can just play it and make you not have to waste non-existent breath.
Uh,
I'm just waiting
whilst that it,
to whip his wand out of his ass and flick it around like Tinkerbell.
whilst your thought is amusing, Maria, and your thought is just straight up wrong, Ahore, I'm guessing that you are looking to have this place warded.
I think it would benefit us. Between that and Miss Ray's talents.
All right. I have some good news and some bad news.
Enthuse me.
The bad news is I don't know any wards. The good news is that I know someone who does.
Wonderful.
But you're gonna have to pitch it to her.
Who is your connection, Mr. Stoneford?
My sire. Her name is Alia, and she so happens to be exceptionally proficient at warding.
I see. Then wouldn't it...
So I could ask her, see if she wants to lend a hand.
Excellent. It would
Otherwise,
serve...
it's gonna take me a week, and a lot of reading.
A week we don't have.
A week we do not.
Okay, so quick question. What are we doing about that whole thing? Because nice as this place is, and I never took you for an individual of faith, I would end up asking myself, how are we going to exactly enjoy this new location and all that if we ain't nothing but ash by the end of this?
What we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting a honey trap. It's no secret. I've made it clear to all of you. One of these individuals is trying to stalk me, specifically. So right off the bat, I'm bait. We're going to need to set up another event, festivity, or such, that would invite him into a public space and setting, but have the opportunity to take him private. I'm almost confident that it is Mr. Moore. That is the issue here.
And if
But-
it's not,
And that's what we're following up on. Tonight we still have a little bit of time. Let's make use of it and investigate. You mentioned there was an individual by the name of Leslie who had been experiencing their own stalker issues, correct?
sure, if the Baron hasn't already done her in.
We can check.
Before all of that, Detective Muniz said that the device was exceptionally short range, 100-foot radius at most.
That's
Minus any signal drop from the barriers that are in the way, house frame, wall insulation materials, things like that. If that was the case, this means that someone wasn't expecting to have a full long-term listening device. This was a one drop to try and detect something specific. Because a short-range device like that would do no major work in providing long-term listening capabilities.
You're correct, unless somebody was listening from nearby on the regular.
Yes, but that increases risk of detection.
So it's either listeners in a nearby house or they're in a vehicle that allows them to end up being within range. So that's basically what you're telling me.
Correct. It has to be that. It has to be that. 100 feet at maximum, minus say 20-foot radius for where it was placed and the things that would be between it and a target device to pick up the signal. You look at an 80-foot radius centered on the device. And because it's homemade, we can't expect any... It's well made, but it's not sophisticated in any sense. Which means someone bought some kind of kit and put it together.
Miss Higgs, you're knowledgeable of the neighborhood. Of our neighbors, who would happen to be the most apt for such things?
I'll think about it. Think about it long and hard.
That would be an
Had to be some. Go ahead.
that would be an intelligence politics.
That's only 2 dice.
Mr. Stoneford.
Or streetwise.
That's 2 dice.
Or Miss Ray, since she doesn't like Wilson.
It's 1.
Just one?
Yeah, no one's coming to mind yet. You don't know enough. You've had one barbecue, but you don't know who's the tech guru of the neighborhood just yet.
Let me look into it.
Yeah.
So what did you need first?
Any- We need some extenuations. You would happen to know, in general, what sort of operations are happening within the underground. You had intentions on following up on that, correct?
If I don't know, I can probably find out if I dig enough. What do you need?
I'm thinking we need a red herring.
You're gonna need to be a little bit more specific than that.
I realize
I'm trying to catch you thinking here, but not sure how your bait idea is gonna work.
we set up a red herring, create a festivity or event. If we have someone now involved within the party that will mislead any other distractions, then the ones who are focusing on us we will be able to identify and pinpoint. Because they'll be focusing on us, and not the distraction.
Right.
I'm not liking this plan.
It's gonna cause a little trouble. But that's why we have Detective Muniz on our side, isn't it?
Say so,
Detective. Detective Muniz? I'm missing something here.
He came around while you were out. He was the guy working on the case of the bug. He was the one who gave us the information.
I'm more interested in the on our side part of this piece of information. He's one of the police force.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. He started in on my case specifically, and since then we've established a more professional association. I believe he will be assisting us moving forward.
Not that he has a choice.
Not that he has a choice.
I don't know what happened, but I think Faust did something.
No. I saw it. Faust only took a piece out of him. I'm the one who ended up doing the rest of it.
Oh, leave you alone for 5 fucking minutes. Okay. Well, first things first, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go talk to my contact and see if I can't get in contact with an info broker in the city. From there, I'm gonna see what I can't find out about this Moore fellow, as well as this woman that's been following him around. What's her name? Frickin'
O'Leary. Amanda O'Leary.
Because apparently Moore has been seen around more recently. Apparently he isn't always seen with O'Leary, and from what Sammy said, she didn't see anything weird from him, which means somebody's gonna have to have slipped away during the party, and she didn't notice anything. We did have Kindred there, so it might be an idea to ask.
You were gonna say something, Miss Hicks.
Tonight, I'll end up looking into the houses nearby. Not exactly a specialty of mine, but I'll make it work. Of course, no one's gonna want to end up seeing me for a few nights afterwards.
That takes a strain on you. Are you gonna be able to handle it?
If I don't, we're dead.
Do you have feeding restrictions?
Yeah, it's gotta be fresh. And I'm gonna be seeing if I can end up taking something out of my usuals. I don't think they're overtaxed yet, but better get ahead of it right now, because when this is all said and done, I'm gonna be in a worse place than I was this morning.
Maria, keep me updated. I'll help you where I can.
Can you end up going invisible, end up getting into a person's house and leave as though nothing ever ended up happening?
Nah, but I'm great at getting food.
Yeah. But if I find out who this is, they're done.
Anyone who wants to can roll an intelligence politics to see if there's somebody noteworthy that could do that for you in the greater Jameson domain.
I'll happily make that in politics.
I can also make one, so I'll go ahead and try for funsies.
Oh no, that's a messy crit, and it's unresolvable. I can't change it.
You, my friend, are going to get a compulsion.
Oh god, because that's ended so well for me before.
All right, Mr. Stoneford, you're just gonna have to let us know.
Two names come to mind. John and Dismal. Nosferatu, who have been seen, quote unquote, around Jameson's domain here and there, from what you understand, Mr. Stoneford. And you know that Dismal tends to be a little bit of a prickly fellow. John, you don't know anything about. He's new. And that kind of makes you antsy. So antsy it makes you a little hungry too.
I was gonna go hunting anyway.
But that ping in your
Right.
stomach is just all the clearer at this point.
We have two options, both Clan Nosferatu. One by the name of John. I don't know anything about him. The other one goes by Dismal.
And
Right,
you think
correct.
they'll help us?
If it's made worth enough their while, yeah.
I was hoping to make some NOS friends. They're always handy to have around.
Well, now you've
Ugly,
got some names.
handy.
And Noel, with that messy crit, you even know how to get in contact with Dismal. John, not so much, but with Dismal, you know his regular haunts. And that's closer to Jameson's part of the domain.
If you're looking for him, you can find him here, and he'll give the address of the haunt. Be warned, he's prickly. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go get on asking for that, getting you in contact with my sire so you can ask about the warding, Faust. I also need to go and get myself something to eat.
Do that. Because the rest of this evening is going to involve us in a very public location.
Hmm.
We're following up on this Leslie.
And Noel is gonna leave to go organize a drop.
I believe that, though, is where we're going to leave the session for tonight. And we'll continue this night where part of the coterie is going to go see if they can find this Leslie. And Noel is going to take himself a bit of a dinner run. Thank you all for playing.
You're very welcome.
That's a noise.
It is a noise.
It was a noise.
How are we feeling?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah?
One moment. Yep. Just how that clicked in a way that was very uncomfortable.
I am daftly without any information, so I'm heavily reliant on two people. All three. No, scratch that. I am heavily reliant on all three of my coterie for info right now. I have one lead, so that's what I'm fixating on.
Sounds good.
Yep. But no, the short range, especially since it was placed further towards the back of the house, there'd be steel and wood, insulation, plasterboard, between that and the outside.
You did also get the info that it was well made.
And it was well made. So the transmitter's max range is probably about 100 feet. Given the fact that you would have interference because of where it was placed,
Some.
that would drop the effective range by about 20%. Because even when you start introducing a little interference to RF broadcasts, it spikes out very, very quickly.
But yeah. I don't think we have stains. Correct?
Surprisingly.
I have none.
Does it count? No, I mean, Detective Muniz is more or less not knowing that he's been he's being used like he is, so
Fair.
that's the only thing I could imagine. It's not like I
mean,
was tortured the guy.
Ray did kick the shit out of someone, but also that kind of falls under care for and protect your own.
Yeah.
Did
and
it
Mar-
specifically defeat Maria.
And Maria, you have expressly stated is part of your pack.
So
no, yeah, that one wouldn't be a thing.
yes. No killing, no rape or torture, no harming the innocent really, because Muniz is fine.
I think we're solid.
Okay.
Yeah, we're solid.
Good.
Which is great.
So, who fulfilled desires or worked towards ambition for some recovered willpower?
Did fulfill desire.
I got desire.
Woo! You can recover willpower.
I can recover.
Still working on befriending an animal.
You still haven't gotten to that yet, right?
Oh, I've got so much shit to do and I keep getting distracted.
Yeah, it happens.
What kind of?
I figured out my desire.
What's that, Specs?
Do I recover superficial or
Aggravated?
aggravated? I'm gonna feel this one aggravated willpower I've had for ages. Woo!
Yeah.
Do I recover superficial willpower every night?
Every night when you
It's
wake.
night.
Is it just one or is it the whole
No, it's
shebang?
Higher.
the higher of your composure or resolve. Equal to that amount.
I'm fixed.
Yeah.
Alright.
But that's per night when you wake.
Amazing. So I'm still at just 2 willpower then. But I got the aggravated fix because I fulfilled my desire. Thank you, Mr. Wolford. You told me what I needed to and I cried.
I'm sorry I made you cry.
No, that was necessary. Also, that was largely Faust just being terrified of what he was going to do.
Yeah. Mr. Wolford told you, no, you have to be decisive, Mr. Faust.
I'm still struggling with it, but I mean...
Yeah.
You're getting there.
Alright. Is that everybody who recovered willpower?
Yep. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yep. So now we're going to get on to experience. So now we do experience very similar to the way that Derek does things in Detroit, in that we have the one that everybody gets. So woohoo.
Yay!
And then we have 3 different categories voted on by the players and 1 voted on by the audience. And so the poll is open for those who want to put in your vote. Doesn't matter for what, for why, for when, doesn't matter. Exclamation point vote and the name of the character, and you can put in your votes. So, and the bot will tell you if you did the thing right. So, who moved our plot?
Faust.
Faust.
Yep.
I
Fast.
did it!
Faust did
There you
it.
go.
Woo!
Big bad venture.
Big Venture.
Eh,
Make them Big Venture plays.
Big Venture plays.
Big Venture plays.
Big Venture plays.
Who had the best scene?
I loved Faust breaking down as he was talking to Wilford. That was
Yep.
such an impactful scene.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I wasn't even
I'm-
watching Spectre's face in that, and I could hear it.
Yeah.
I was really trying not to cry. That was the funny part. I was like, I'm sorry, Vampire Dad.
Vampire
sorry.
Dad loves you.
My grandpappy.
Yeah.
Vampire Grandpa.
Yeah. You gotta give it to that scene. That was some powerful shit right there.
That's them tears.
Thank-
First of the chronicle.
Probably not the last.
I'm gonna squeeze you
It's-
for more. You know that, right?
Yes. It's just
Like
scary
an
because it's like to
orange.
Faust, this is just he doesn't want to actually kill people at all.
No, of course
And then
not.
he killed someone on the street, had a
Which is-
meltdown about that in
Yeah,
the car,
it's
and
true.
then he comes back and Wilfred's like, so yeah, you gotta kill someone now.
But he did put it
So,
to
yeah.
you straight. He said that even if you were to ghoul him, there's a chance that it can backfire.
Yep. There's only one way to handle it.
Only one
In
guaranteed
such a way
way.
that it won't backfire.
Yes. So is that Faust for the scene then?
Yes.
Best line.
Is that like your catchphrase? Should I just like record it, and every single time that you end up somebody says something, I'm just gonna play it back?
Everyone had amazing lines tonight. Ray came out with a couple of zingers. Faust with his Faust with the blush of
Get him a
you gonna
drink.
touch him like that? No, not like that. No touchy. And then Noel sitting there exasperated after Mudez is gone, looks up at Faust and is just like, I have to ask, and pardon my French, but what the fuck was that?
Sure,
Noel is not aware of what happens with Maria. It's often, it's a blood bond. Okay, I understand. No,
It's a
no.
more intense blood bond.
Her blood is effectively one giant ball and chain.
Faust is using that now. I'm sorry.
All right,
All right.
I'm backing up your play.
So long as
All right.
it's one of those Maria should just be like, Faust, you buying me dinner for this?
Yes, that's the point. Faust makes the herd. Maria makes the retainers and contacts. That's the goal.
Don't expect me to talk to people.
I hope you're keeping track of all the bond slaves you have, by the way.
I
Yeah,
really
I would hope so.
Because I have not been keeping track
look-
of how many you have now.
Luckily, as far as bond slaves are concerned, humans, you can have as many mortals as you can feasibly manage. Vampires, you're linked to
One
blood
per blood
potency, I
potency,
believe.
yeah. But yeah, that does it for the poll as well for audience vote. Who did we decide on for line?
Wait, yeah, I was gonna say who got the best line?
I can't decide.
I'm
I
giving it to
can't
Rick.
decide. Everyone had a good line.
Should we just make this a four-way roll-off?
Yeah, please.
I mean, sure. High or low, guys?
High,
High.
Glen, high.
Hi, Glad
Hi.
hi.
That is a womp
Oh
womp.
no!
Womp womp. But there is also a tie for the audience vote, again,
Oh wow.
for Faust and a hooray.
Hey. Look at that rivalry.
So you want to do a roll-off for that one, too?
Yeah?
All right.
How you feeling?
Well, it failed me before, so I'm going back to it. I Glen high because I'm a math.
So high?
High.
Oh,
Yay!
you both get it that time. Wow. Wow.
Look at us. Oh.
Perfect. Well, that does it for all of this. Is there any expenditures for our lovely characters?
I'm banking. There is something I need to save for now. Yep.
If you want Munez as a contact, you will have to spend experience to buy him.
I don't need him as a contact because he's already blood bound.
No, that doesn't count. If you want him to do things, you still have to pay him for it. He still has to be considered a contact. Otherwise,
No, I just have to
Until
ask
you
Maria.
ghoul him.
right, somebody has to buy him as a contact. If you want him to serve that function.
Really?
Other-
Yeah.
Otherwise,
We could.
otherwise it's another plot point where he goes off his blood bond and he starts getting the jonesing.
Evil smirk. I like making more problems than I solve.
Quote of the day, Faust.
Do I have an expenditure?
I'm gonna bank mine.
Okay.
For now.
I actually might.
Oh, what you gonna do, Noel?
I just need to check to see how much it costs.
If you want
Okay,
to
so I do have the XP for it.
Okay. Oh, I was also going to comment, if you want to spend experience as a coterie to take Munez or any other contact in the future as a coterie thing, then you can combine experience if you wanted.
Yeah, we could pay. So long as the cost is paid, we can share the cost
I'd be down to
between
do
all
that.
of us.
I'm just banking mine for now.
Oh. Ahura cares more about her skills and disciplines. She's more of a skill discipline kind of spender, which is valid. It's a valid way to play. But
I'm gonna have to save the expenditure until next session, so I've got the RP justification for it.
Okay.
But I'm looking at picking up Ward Against Ghouls.
Ward Against Ghouls. Okay.
It's a first level ritual.
It is.
So
it still would take a week to learn for the in-character expenditure. So you would need to spend minimum half your night every night studying for a week.
Studying. Yep. Well, I mean, if we're looking for the permanent warding, it's probably going to take because it takes a critical to make it last permanently.
Yeah.
I'll probably can learn through practical application by getting
Alia how to show you how to do it.
Yeah, and I can put that down as the in-character experience gaining necessary, the justification to pick up that ritual. Because then I can put it on a jacket, and then ghouls can get zapped.
Yep. They get tased real bad.
So that's a plan. That's a plan.
That's a planned expenditure. Okay. Which, yeah, like you said, it doesn't cost that much in XP, but it will cost time.
Yeah.
So if you want to spend downtime doing it, you're more than welcome to, but you only have a week, 6 days, to track down the person behind that little listening device and see if you can't put them in the ground. But we'll find out more about that next time, I'm sure.
We will.
So let's do some shout outs for my lovely cast. Let's start with the nerds. Moxie.
Hi, I'm Moxie. I'm from Gathering of Nerds. You can find us here on Twitch, or you can find our VODs on YouTube. We have a huge range of stuff that we do. We have Brisbane by night. I come over here and I play with San Antonio by night. We have a whole bunch of other games and things that we put on our streams. So tune in there every now and then and see what we've got up for offer.
And we also have Lethality. also from Gathering of Nerds.
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Lethality Complex, and when I'm not questioning the Venture's decisions, you can find me on Gathering of Nerds. Where, as Mock said, we do a whole bunch of stuff. I personally I play here on San Antonio by night. I play in Matty Morg's Chroma Company game, which is a 5th edition D&D game. I play in Derek's Detroit by Night Overhaul. I run Brisbane by night. And I also run the different games run on The Gathering Presents, which currently is a Shadowrun game called Shadowrun Technogenesis with Specs, Mitwad, and King Poseidon, and is soon to be a Wrath and Glory game involving Derek, hopefully. So stay tuned for that.
Yep, follow them all over the place. Spectre.
Hello, I'm Spectre Deflector. You can find me on Twitter and as well as Twitch under the same alias on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays, all at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You'll find me streaming some sort of nonsense on Twitch. Mondays, I'm with Brisbane by Night. Wednesdays here in San Antonio with CoffeeCat, and Fridays on my own channel. Recently, I've also been visiting Gathering of Nerds on Thursdays, in addition to our Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Shadowrun.
And then last but not least, the man who does exactly what he says on the tin, Mr. Macabre Derek.
Hello, everybody. Macabre Derek here, and I am a storyteller for Detroit by Night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the channel. You can end up seeing the socials on the side. You'll also end up finding me here, as you've already noticed, as well as Brisbane by Night, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Outside of just doing VTM games, I also do drawing on the macabre and VTM workshops. But if you want to end up finding out the details on that, do hit the follow button, because I end up streaming 5 nights a week, Sunday through Thursday. So I hope to end up seeing you all there for either the shorter or the extended streams. Either way, we end up doing commission art for various characters, as well as being able to end up doing a few other graphics. And we're also looking to expand a little bit. Never know what kind of eldritch horrors may arrive.
Or political horrors, or body horrors, or, anything of the macabre. But that does it for us here in the Alamo City. Hope to see you next time as we find out more about what our Iconoclasts are going to do about this little threat of theirs. See if they can't find any good leads. But until then, say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
We're all gonna die.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.